Okay. Well,
Yeah.
you look like you wanted to say something there, James. Or
No.
okay. Okay. Well, I guess we've kind of beaten this topic up. Did we cover everything Jabroni here said? He said the thing. He said the thing we've already covered, complaining about the fact that the codex. I mean, I think we've covered all this stuff. It's I think the guy made valid arguments, but like both of y'all said, it was my proprietary hardware that wasn't designed to work with this, didn't work without a little bit of effort, therefore it sucks.
Why can't I fit my circular peg into this square hole?
Oh, I do that all the time. It's fun.
Hit it with a bigger hammer.
Every time somebody says that, instantly this image comes to mind, and I keep saying one of these days that I'm going to put it on a T-shirt. You know those old block things we had as kids, where you had pegs of various shapes and a wooden or rubber mallet, and you hammered them into these, like the triangle one in the triangle, and the square one in the square, and so on and so forth. I want to have one of those with like a giant square and a square hole that's smaller than the square and a round hole that's bigger than the square. It's like something like that. It's like the only way to do this is to put the square peg in the round hole. It's like, but I don't think anybody would get it. This is as good an analogy as anything. It's one of those things I'm not sure. I think the real resistance to going that route is it's giving up some of the power. It's returning to a true fair market system where people come to you because you make a better product, not because you locked them into it, which is scary as hell to traditional business. Traditional business is all about figuring out how not to innovate and not do any more work. Because there's always some upstart that'll take you over, and the only way you crush them is by being too big to take on. Okay, any more thoughts, or should we just end this off here?
I'm good.
You got anything else to say, James?
Well, what do you guys think about the fact that there's like 100 Android tablets coming out before the end of this year?
I've completely forgot about that. And I want to talk to Jordan about that because he did one of the many POS's reviews.
Yeah. Honestly, the tablet, it's not as bad as I expected it to be.
But it's still a POS.
Yeah, it was. And luckily, it's back in Kmart's loving hands in their trash bin, because anything that's been opened and used, they have to mark it as broken or whatever. So I was more than happy to let them do that. And
I think that's an accurate description of that device, to be quite honest.
There are so many little fails about it. Just little things that when you add them all together, it's a big bundle of fail.
Yeah, honestly, I think Dell should be shot for releasing the Aero. It's a horrible device.
I don't know if I've seen
the
the
5.6 still on it?
Yes. Yes, they released it just now with 1.6 on it. And I know what that is. They went and rebranded one of these devices that's been around and just put a new case on it. That's like, and that's what all these devices are. It's like the real Android tablets are starting to come out in the next 60 days. There's going to be a little parade of Android tablets over the next 6 months, starting between now and Thanksgiving is when it's starting. It's the first 2 or 3 are supposed to come out in the next 30 to 60 days, and there'll be a few more before the holidays, and the rest are early next year.
I think the really hot season for that is going to be November, before Christmas.
What I'm telling everyone who wants to buy one of these Slate devices, who wants them, is wait till the weekend before Thanksgiving. That's when you make your decision for this holiday season, because they're going to
finding out where you can find it.
Yeah, it's like they're going to be coming out, and you'll hear the initial reviews, and you'll get a feel for who's been what, and that's when they're going to come out. I'm glad to see them finally coming out. I'm just really hoping too much damage hasn't been done from the fact that people have been presenting POSs as the genuine state-of-the-art Android tablets for the last few months. Because there's a lot of people that have been doing that, and I'm hoping people didn't get soured by it. I think most people realize that's what they are, but you know what I'm talking about. This is the iPad knockoff POS.
And when you look at the specs, it's nowhere near.
And the true Android tablets, for really all intents and purposes, are twice what the iPad is. It's literally.
If you haven't seen it yet, the Notion Ink Atom it looks to be a really impressive device if they can actually get it to market for the price they're planning. It was about $300 planned, and it's a dual screen device with e-ink on one of the screens, and I can't remember, it's a 9 or 10 inch screen.
Commodore told me about that, actually. We were talking the other day, I thought he was talking about a different system, because one of the things, and I think these are a horrible mistake, is there's some plans to release some slate Android devices running Intel CPUs. And they're going to be running Atom CPUs, and they're going to be like $1,200 slates. Oh yeah, I hope these people realize before they actually release these, no, scrap the project. This is a horrible idea, but I have a feeling we're going to see a few of them make it to market, and I'm like, no, it's like, no. I do not want to.
I have a question for Jordan. So, do you think that releasing all these crappy tablets, or at least tablets that aren't as good, is going to hurt what these businesses and these big producers think of Android? Because, with Linux, a lot of them released pretty bad machines and sold them with Linux, and then, didn't really tell people what Linux is, and a bunch of people returned them, and they're like, we're not making money off them, everyone's returning it. So that's just like, nobody should sell stuff with Linux anymore because everyone returns stuff with Linux. I hear a lot of people quoting that all these netbooks that were sold with Linux, a lot of people returned them and said, I want Windows on this, I don't want whatever I got on it. So do you think
I think with the tablets, this first run of them that are really mediocre, there's really not that many of them that are easily accessible. You either have to go to eBay to get one of those Chinese ones that are garbage, or you have to go to someplace like Kmart where they just released it and it's not going to be there for very long. Once, like the Show That Sucks says, next month or two, they're going to be putting out some really decent ones. And a lot of those will probably make it to the larger retail outlets. So there might be an actual initial push of them. That this pre-push can probably be forgotten about. Because there were some rough Android phones in the beginning, and they've gotten significantly better.
Yeah, the only one still putting rough Android phones out today is AT&T.
Yep. Motorola Backflip. Which realistically, I looked at that, I tried it, and it's not a terrible device. It's just not a particularly good one.
Yeah. No,
if you want an Android period, that's the way to get it.
Yeah. Well, and I think the damage AT&T is doing is being muddled by Verizon, because people know this isn't Android. This is just AT&T has shitty Android phones. People know the Droid X, so they know all these phones exist. It's like with the tablets, it's a little different. They don't know. I'm hoping, like what Jordan's saying, that because, like he's saying, most people aren't buying them, and we haven't had the holiday rush yet. I'm hoping that the majority of what winds up in people's stockings this holiday season, if they buy Android, is the better ones, the good ones. Which I'm going to be very happy if what I see in January and February of next year is people with all these Android tablets sitting next to people with iPads doing things that our iPads can't much better. I'll be like, oh, what? Your big expensive Apple can't do that? That costs more? I'm sorry. Anything else to go into? Or do you have another question or anything? Okay, that's.
I'm fine.
All right.
I guess that's a good question, and I'm sure Speak and See Whatever still thinks we're fanboys, but whatever. Anyone who has questions, keep submitting them. We'll find the answers and mess with them. Okay.